hit the subscribe button because he's giving out free picks each and every week. Hope you have a good rest of your day.
NFL Week 17, normally the last week of the NFL regular season. However, starting this year, we have Week 18. No Thursday or Saturday games, guys, this week. However, we do have the normal Monday Nighter, which I'll be discussing as usual. Last video of 2021. Check out my year in review video, guys, if you haven't already. It's on my YouTube channel. I go over all big ticket winners. I have a client draw. I go over all sports that I capped. There's about 7 different sports that I capped throughout the year. I go over the records and everything and how everything went. Go check it out now. I'll be going over 3 games like usual. The Monday Nighter, Cleveland versus Pittsburgh. Big game there in the AFC North. Dallas versus Arizona, and the Chiefs versus the Bengals. Of course, the famous Underdog Outright segment. However, I do have some bad news in the Underdog Outright segment, so tune in there. But no bad news with the record. Last week, another hit with the Bills. Another Underdog Outright with the Bills. You got that plus 120. 12-3 on the year in the Underdog Outright segment. Hopefully, you guys have been tailing. 80% this year in that market. Minimum plus 110. Minimum plus 110. We hit some plus 140s, plus 150s in that market this year. I'll teaser as well. I throw out the teaser as well. We did hit it again last week, so we did go 3 in the last 4. Teaser's been up and down all year. Weekly update. I'll just be going over the 2 main sports that I've been handicapping the past few weeks. We do have a couple sports on break. Adding the NHL in there as well. They did go on a little bit of a break, but PGA and UFC have been on break. So I'm just going to go over the NFL and NBA. NFL, let's look at it. Current long-term run, guys. This is a long-term run, 75-43. Great numbers there. 64%. Last week, 6-1. 6-1. And the last 2 weeks, 14-3 run, guys. That's 83% to end the year. Can't ask for much better. Line 63% and just under 20 units. Under 20 units on the year. NBA 30-14. 11 units right now on the season. Continues to be strong. COVID's slowing it down right now, though, guys. COVID is ruining the hot streak we were on. So I have been laying off NBA games. It's hard to judge how teams are going to play with backups and guys they're sending off 10 days and getting from the G League. Very difficult. I'll be picking my spots in the NBA. It's just the lines are priced accordingly too. Once they find out the injuries and the teams that aren't playing due to the virus, we'll be picking up back NBA in the new year along with the NHL, of course, PGA and UFC. Guys, check out systemsportscapping.com to become a client today and start profiting in 2022, profiting on sports. I know it's very difficult for a lot of people to profit in sports. I have found my system for the past 7 years that are able to do so. Documented the last 3. Only about 5% of handicappers win long term, guys. Yeah, it does sound crazy. I was there as well over the years, losing. And then, like I mentioned, the past 7 years have been very profitable, finding my ways to handicap. So if you want professional advice, go over to the website. Check out the website, systemsportscapping.com. Start with a small package. Start with a big package. Start with a monthly package. Up to you. Just check it out and start profiting on sports long-term while you watch it. Well, what's better else to do? It's such a big market right now. I do thank all you guys and all my clients for subscribing. Remember, guys, I shoot this video on Thursdays. So, there could be changes. I know there's some COVID issues going around. I think there's some Kirk Cousins rumbling. So that line might move in Green Bay. Always check. Like me personally, I don't send the plays out now until late Friday, Saturday, or Sunday for clients. I don't do any line movement, early plays. It's hard right now just because of COVID, right? If I make a bet Thursday, Sunday, or Saturday, there could be all these COVID issues. So that's the life of a sports handicapper right now. It is difficult. It does make it harder, but it's more of a challenge, which I love. And during this all happened, what did I do? Go on a 14-3 streak. So I'm happy about that. Let's get into the first game. Let's get into the first game that I'm going to discuss. It's going to be Dallas minus 5.5 versus Arizona. Total 51.5. Two teams heading in the opposite directions, guys. I told you guys last week about Arizona. I was right. Heading in an opposite direction, not playing good football right now. And the Colts beat them outright on the road. Banged up. This Arizona team needs to find a win here in the last two games. Are they going to come together as a team and win a big game to make the playoffs? You know, they do have 10 wins. I think they should get in, but you never know. If they lose the last two games, you don't know. They're on a 3-game losing streak right now, with one of those being the Lions. Yes, I like to remind you guys again that one of the games was the Lions. After an impressive game last week by the Cowboys are turning it up right now, guys. They put up 56 points versus the Redskins. Yes, the Redskins defense isn't playing good, especially that secondary, but they do have the worst pass D in the league. And it definitely showed. A huge game from Dak. 8.5 yards per attempt, 4 touchdowns, 131 passer rating, and 330 yards. This passing attack is one of the best in the NFL when they're on. They're just inconsistent, guys. That's the issue here. You know, Arizona's been solid versus the pass all year. Six in yards allowed, but they haven't been great as of late during this losing streak, and that's what's concerning here. You know, after losing Hopkins, it seems like this team has fell off the face of the earth. Too many weapons on this Dallas offense for Arizona to slow down. I just don't see how this Arizona team just turns it around in a week the way they're playing right now. You know, the Arizona offense just isn't the same without Hopkins. So much attention has to be shown Hopkins' way. He spreads the field for them, but now they just don't have a star on offense to be a really big threat. Murray is being affected, obviously. Sub 90 rating in these 3 games that they lost. And even the kicker struggled last week, who is usually solid. Can't back the Cardinals here, guys, the way they're playing. I would bet the Cowboys here. I like them better in a money line parlay over the spread. But gun to my head, I definitely take the Cowboys on the spread and for them to continue their offensive ways. Next game here, Chiefs -5 at Bengals, total 51. This is a very interesting game, guys. I want to see if the Bengals are for real. And this is their biggest test of the year, right? Are the Chiefs back? Yes, they are back. I think they were back a few games ago, but I'm making it official now. You know, one of the surprises is the Bengals of the year. I knew they would be better. Did I know they were going to be leading the AFC North in Week 17? No. I definitely can't say that, but injuries, right? If Baltimore weren't injured, we wouldn't be talking right now about this. Baltimore would be a 10-11 win team if they didn't have the injuries, but injuries do happen. Bengals cruised to victory over the banged-up Ravens, which was expected. We were on them on the money line and on the spread. It's going to be a different animal here versus the Chiefs, though, guys. You know, toughest test yet for them, and this is really going to show us is how good this Bengals team is. We are going to see. Mahomes is playing like we know he can as of late. Hill seems to be back in form, and Kelsey will be back for this game. Bengals will have to bring the pressure in this one, guys, to slow down Mahomes. It's going to be the battle of the trenches in this game. That's what I do personally think. That's what it's going to come down to. Can the Bengals get to Mahomes? That's going to be the big question. Guys, Trey Hendrickson, I don't know if you guys know this guy. Not many talk about this guy, but now people are starting to know. 14 sacks on the year. 14 sacks on the year. Big battle in the trenches for this one. Winner there, good chance to win this game, guys. The pass D for the Bengals isn't great. That's why I can't see them slowing them down completely. They're not great. They're not the worst in the league, but they're like 22nd in the league against the pass. That is not great, guys. Guys, Josh Johnson walked in off the street and threw for 300 yards. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. So I don't think they're going to slow down Mahomes here. But Burrows is coming off an outstanding game. Best game of the year. Maybe the best game from a quarterback, period. 525 yards, 11 yards per attempt. Yes, 11 yards per attempt. And a QB rating of 144. Maybe the best performance all year, guys. Maybe the best performance, keep in mind, it was against a banged-up Ravens D. If the Chiefs can get the Burrow, which seems like teams have been able to, 47 sacks allowed, 30th in the NFL. Chiefs should be okay here. Problem is here, the Chiefs really don't get to the QB, right? 28th in sacks. So I can see points in this game, guys. Bengals win this game, though. They can wrap up the AFC North. Keep that in mind. We're going to see the best Bengals team here this weekend. That's why I'm going to lean the points. I'm going to lean the points. I think it's a close game, and I think there's a lot of scoring in this game. I'm going to take the points with the Bengals. Don't love it. Probably won't make my client card, but I can see this game having a lot of points and looking at the over. Last game here, guys. The Monday Nighter, the big game. Big Ben's possible last home game. Keep that in mind. Browns -3 at Steelers, total 41. You can get some plus 3.5s out here, so look for that. Plus 3.5 you can get out there. You have to expect the team to rally around him here. This most likely will be their last game at home. I don't think they're making the playoffs. I expect the fans and the coaching staff to do their best to show up here versus a struggling Browns team. You know, I know Pittsburgh hasn't been good this year. It's hard to back Pittsburgh. They ruined my Survivor contest with a tie at home versus the Lions. Yes, they did. Even if the Steelers win the last two games, I don't think I don't really have the playoff picture in front of me right now, but I don't think they have a good chance of making the playoffs. So even if they win the last two games, possibly. One interesting, they do play great on Monday nights. 19 straight wins at home on Monday night, going back years and years. Keep that in mind. Now, this isn't the same Steelers team. However, if I can get plus 3.5 in the market, I'll be jumping on the Steelers here to show up at home for Big Ben in his last game and taking the points. No comment on the total. I lean the over, but it's not a strong lean. Underdog outright, guys, I mentioned it earlier. I don't love anything this week, so I'm not going to force anything. I don't love anything. I like a lot of favorites this week, so I'm not going to have an official play in the Underdog outright market. I don't want to ruin the record as well, just to give you something. My favorite is what I just talked about. It's a lean. It's going to be Pittsburgh. I don't love it, though. I don't love it. Cleveland's the better team. They have the better defense. So, you know, it's not something I love. Gun to my head, that's going to be my favorite play. Steelers at home. Dolphins is a look, but I actually do like Tennessee at home there. So I can't get there. It's going to be the Steelers, but it's not going to count against the official record, guys. It will not count against the official record. And the teaser, the weekly teaser. I had Green Bay in here, but that changed. Some issues with Kirk Cousins, so the line's going to change. We cannot bet that. 6.5 point teaser. We're going to go the Seahawks. Seahawks win the game 1.5. Good bounce back spots for the Seahawks after a tough loss to the Bears. Boyle is starting for Detroit. And Titans. Let's take the Titans plus 3.5. Win the division with a win here. They win the division with a win here. Short week for Miami. Titans D can shut down this Miami offense. All right, guys, that will do it for this week's video and the last video of 2021. I hope everyone has a happy new year. Like I always say, guys, bet smart and know your limits. Check me in 2022.